Pokemon pump and dump groups are back at it again, and this time their victim is the Kingdra EX from Shrouded Fable Special Illustration Collection. This beautiful card, inspired by my favourite artist Hokusai and the Great Wave off Kanagawa, is now the new target for these gimps. Let's get into the data. So the card that we're going to be talking about today is the Kingdra EX number 131 Black Star promo from the Shrouded Fable Special Illustration Collection. As you can see, this card a year ago was going for sort of $10, which is what, like £6 in the UK. And then it's had like some slight increases over time, but then you hit the end of July and it went up to $40. And now, as of August, it is up at $72 or about £55. When we look at the graded comparison as well, it follows a similar chart, but because PSA 10 prices, it has shot up to $400, whereas it was $110 in June. So in 2 months, it has gained over $300. Now, we're all here for the same reason. We all know what this is. This is another clear example of market manipulation. Pump and dump groups everywhere, you know, going after any card that they can get their hands on for less than $10 to try and turn it into the next $100 card. We've seen it with the Drowsy illustration rare, we've seen it with the Greninja Gold Star from Celebrations, and now they're turning into Shrouded Fable, which many people didn't like. I personally love Shrouded Fable, but this promo, the Greninja EX promo as well, even the King Gambit, I'm a massive fan of. And it's no surprise that these cards are starting to gain traction. But unfortunately, it's for the wrong reason, and it's because pump and dump groups are looking for a quick buck. Now, when we hop on over to Card Market, you can see that prices haven't gone too crazy with this yet in the European market. So you can see £22 from Russia, £36 from Germany, £36 from Switzerland, 38 in Spain, 40 in Russia, 40 in, I believe that's Croatia, 40 in Spain, 40 in Romania, 40 in France. A lot of European people are selling it for less than £50, a couple in the UK, £45. So the average rate is a lot below what we're seeing in the US. So when we hop on over to TCG Player and you get an idea for this fucking ridiculous chart, you can see hovering around the $40 mark, you know, fairly like consistent sales, sort of like a couple a day up to like 10 a day. And then you hit the 12th of August where this card was $90. So I'm recording this on the 24th, so you can see that in the space of 2 weeks it went from $40 straight up to $70 with 24 items being sold. And then another 56 sold, another 31 sold, 17 sold, all at that $70 price point. So to go from having, you know, a max of like 11 or 12 sales in a day to then suddenly, what's that, like over 100 are sold over a 3-day period. And you can see it's started to come down a little bit, hovering back down around that $65 mark. But again, when you think that start of August we were hovering around that $40 mark to now going up to nearly 70, just because some gimp has bought out loads of copies thinking he's an absolute genius and nobody else can see what he's doing. And I mean, I think that's the bit that frustrates me the most about these market manipulation scams, is that everyone thinks that they're a genius doing this. It's like, oh yeah, we'll pick up loads of these cards, no one will see it coming, and then when the demand is there, I'll be sat on hundreds of them and be able to flip them for quick money. No sir, you are an idiot, and everybody can see what you're doing plain as day. And then when we look over on eBay at the recent sales, you can see that it is actually starting to catch up a bit to what we're seeing in the American market as well, with a sale at 49, 42, US one at 62. So again, UK listing 42, American listing 62, 41, 75 in the States, 70 in the States, 46 in the UK, 75 in the US. 40 in the US, so weirdly that's actually a bit of a deal for someone at the moment with how crazy this card is actually going. Another 70 in the US, 56 in the US, 75 in the US, 42 in the US, so again this person's done quite well here. 64 in the US, 60 in the US, 60. So you can see that there is quite a price disparity between the UK and the US market at the moment, but again, a lot of the recent sales have all come through on TCG Player. So it indicates that it is an American-based market manipulation scam at the moment, but as with everything in the Pokemon market, it'll boom in the US and then it'll come to the UK and the European market afterwards. So unfortunately, this is one to keep an eye on. If you've got the card and you're thinking of selling, please don't give in to this sort of hype machine, because that's what allows these wheels to keep spinning. And if you are the absolute gimp that's doing this, mate, it's so painfully obvious. Get a job. When we look at the collection box itself, so when you think that the card that's in this box is the one that's currently going for around that $70 price point in the US, you can actually see that the price charting for this is saying $54 at the moment. Now, I know it's going to be hard to actually find a listing for that, but again, when we hop on over to Card Market, you can see that these collection boxes are actually being sold around the £45 mark. So the fact that you're getting that promo that everyone's going crazy for at the moment, as well as a few packs of Shrouded Fable, which again, I think is quite an underrated set, just goes to show that it's people feeding into buying and trading that single and stocking it up and driving the price of that up, when the box is actually fairly readily available and at a much better price, in the fact that you also get packs in which you could pull like the Persian, the Dusclops line, or even the amazing Houndoom from the set as well. So, I mean, if it were me and you were absolutely desperate to get your hands on this promo, I would be looking at getting the collection box. Far cheaper, you get packs as well, so you get to have a nice little degen sesh. And as well, you've not bought it off somebody that's just trying to flip loads of copies and drive the price up themselves. So for me, I'd be looking at getting the collection box, have some fun opening some packs, and get an absolutely incredible Hokusai-inspired artwork for this Kingdra here. Let me know what you think about this card, whether you think it is worthy of the current surge in market price. I think it's a beautiful card, but this clear market manipulation just isn't it at the moment. Whilst a beautiful card, this was something that a year ago you'd pick up for $10, 6 months ago you'd pick up for maybe $15 or about £10. So the price has gone crazy. These are going to be held for a little bit. It's drawing a lot of attention, but also when there's a lot of attention, people see the quick cash grab that they can potentially have, they start flipping their cards. And next thing you know, this card becomes $100, becomes unattainable for a lot of collectors, when this is something from a set that just sat on shelves for a while. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Drop the video a like and maybe even subscribe to the channel whilst you're there. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Pokey Strongman out.